Hey kids, the next song is dedicated to Butchie, Chico, Wimpy, Stanley, Franny, and Annie, the stars of the new movie, The Lords of Flatbush.
Welcome back to Coffee Talk. I am Stefan and you are beautiful. Today on Coffee Talk, we get to sit down with the legendary Marty Davidson, the writer and director of the iconic film The Lords of Flatbush. Discover the untold stories behind this cult classic that launched careers of Hollywood giants like Sylvester Stallone and Henry Winkler.
The Lords of Flatbush, oh, it's something to see.
I could dissect this film with you forever. I love it. Richard Gere, let's go there. What's the backstory with Richard Gere?
It was part of Verona's original cast. So when I started working with Richard, was very, very young at the time, maybe 21 years old, a little younger than all the other actors were older than the characters they played. Stallone was probably 26 and Henry was 25. And Richard was just starting out. He was a great-looking kid, a wonderful guy, but he was just at the very, very, very beginning of his career. And I started doing improvisations, like I said, and he had great difficulty with the improvisation. Richard did. And finally, we're doing this one scene where I have them in a pigeon coop, which eventually became that scene at the where Perry King comes up and meets him, and he tells him about his dream of what he wants to do with his life, and what it means, like the pigeons, how he would fly, and Sly had this gift, and Richard was very uncomfortable in it, and Sly was, and they became antagonistic towards one another. And I could see, if I'm going to do this film if I'm rewriting this over this period of time, these next 2 months, I thought it'd be 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, it kept getting longer and longer. If I'm going to do it this way, I need somebody who's very comfortable through improvisation, because that's how I'm not going to sit down and write it at the desk. I'm going to improvise, I'm going to tape it, and I'm going to rewrite it off of the tapes. That's how I'm making this script happen. And I was very uncomfortable with it, and Sly and he were really not getting along well. And I made the decision, and Sly kind of led the way to a brother to me kind of attitude, and without necessarily saying that, I don't think. And I remember taking Richard out of down to a delicatessen across the street from where we were working, in a rehearsal studio on 45th Street, and I talked to him about it. And when it was over, I thought it would be best if we didn't continue, that I would make a change.
Wow.
And it was very difficult. It's I think it's the only actor I've ever call it fired in my life. I don't like to think of it as fired, but we decided the situation wasn't right. It wasn't working. And there was no money to be made. There was no reason to believe the movie would ever see the light of day. We're making a movie for $60,000, basically. It eventually cost $150 over 3 after we went back and raised more money, because we shot 3 different times over those 3 years. When I raised more, they edited what I would edit. At any rate, Richard didn't think he was really losing out on a film that would eventually even see it. So we kind of hugged goodbye, if that's a way to put it. But it wasn't antagonistic, it wasn't mean, it was pained. But we said, it's not working. It's just not working. We parted.
Only different people say to do. And one day we'll feel like
You parted.
Yeah. And that's when I called Jane, who I work with as an agent, was the ADIKA, and she represented Perry King. And he had just done Slaughterhouse-Five big movie, and I didn't think he'd want to even do it, for $300 a week. But he came in, and I really liked him, and he said, "Yeah, I'm there. You got me. I never thought I'd play a guy like this." He went to an Ivy League college. Perry couldn't be more different from the Lords of Flatbush, but he did ride a motorcycle, which was great. He loved motorcycles. So at any rate, I brought him in, and then Henry, I came up with an idea for that fourth role, and I called the agent, who was an old friend of mine from the agent days again. "Jane, I want you to set up a meeting for me to meet this actor." She says, Marty, I don't know if he'll come to meet you on this. He has big plans. He's just done this big movie in Texas with Goldie Hawn, this one new young director, Steven Spielberg. And I said, "Do it." She said,
"Well, where's he now?"
Oh, we're in Sugarland.
She said, "I'll tell you what. I'll try to do this for you if you do something for me." And I said, "Anything. What can I do?" She says, "I represent a young actor who's studying at Yale, and I think he would be someone you love. And he might be able to play this role better than what you're suggesting." And I said, "You got it. Whoever it is, I'll be glad." She said, "But you have to see him over the weekend, like on Saturday, because he's going to school at Yale, and I'll get him to come down to see if you'll see him on a Saturday." I said, "No problem. We work 7 days a week. Saturday, first Saturday you want, set it up. Let me know, but let me meet so-and-so, right?" And she said, "I'll try my best." I said, "Okay." So she sets up me. She comes back. She says, "He could meet you at 12:30. Where do you want to meet?" I said, "This is on 8th Avenue and 6th Avenue and 8th Street. There's a Nathan's hot dog stand restaurant there that just opened. I'll meet him for some hot dogs and we'll talk there, because my office is going to be a mess. There's all kinds of things going on there." So she said, "You got it. 12:30. I go then, it's Henry Winkler. I talked to him for a while. Our office was 2 blocks away. I call up Sly, who's there. I said, come by, let me buy you a hot dog." He comes and joins us, and the three of us have a great time, and that's how Henry got the part.
Wow.
I didn't need the other actor anymore. I never met him. Abernathy. What was his name? It's horrible to become 85. You lose your memory. At any rate, that's how Henry became Butchie. We wrote it from that point forward.
You know something, Chico? I really don't understand you. I really don't.
Incredible. Great role. Is it I might be pronouncing his name wrong. William Atherton, is that correct?
Yes. Yeah.
That's who it is?
That's the actor who I wanted to see.
It's all over after this incredible ordeal. What are your feelings?
And who I never got to see. I didn't need to. She said she tried to start the meeting. Atherton was the actor. But I was glad to have Henry.
Click on your screen for some other great episodes and become a member right here today on Coffee Talk. Support the channel, support the fun. Who loves you, baby? We do. Thanks for watching.